Hello, this is Sarah. Welcome to CoreMoodz, and today I'll be doing the BookTube Newbie tag. The first thing, there are questions, and I looked up the person that created the tag, and it said that someone called Brenda C. I couldn't find anything related to that person, so I'll keep searching, and if I find something, I'll put it in the description if they have a channel or their first video or something. But why am I starting this channel? Well, I just have a lot of interests and things I love. How can I explain this? Content, stories, knowing what's going on. I just love to read and to watch movies and documentaries and stuff. And with my vast interest, there isn't really I have friends that have different interests, and some parts of my interest overlap with them, but I just feel like I want to connect and just create a community where I can't be the only one that's interested in all of this stuff. And why a BookTube channel specifically? Well, because I read a lot. And that's like, I just want to talk with people about the books I'm reading. A lot of the people in my life that read have completely different tastes in books. And while it's sometimes interesting to read a book outside of my comfort zone and talk about it, I just want to see if there are people that read what I read. Let me see, what is the second question? Also, it's very a creative thing to have a BookTube channel or a channel, because you can make videos, the thumbnails, the art. I just enjoy the process and stuff. So I just thought I want to learn how to edit, and what better way is it to learn how to do that with my own videos? So it's I just like the process, the creative part of it. What do I have to? What am I hoping to achieve? Well, the only thing I hope to achieve is just connecting with people and talking about a shared interest. And to be honest, that's like the only. I don't really care about reach, subscribers, content, comparing to other people. And I've heard of a lot of my friends that are content creators that you start to compare, and then you do care, and then things go out of hand. So I hope I don't fall into that kind of thinking. What kind of book or series got me into reading? Well, I think the first books I've read was as a child, when my parents would read books with me, and those books were in Arabic, so I don't think I was reading them as more as they were being read to me. But books I've read on my own, I think the first series is Goosebumps, and then a series of unfortunate events. Well, I was completely obsessed. And after that, I was into the Darren Shan books, the Cirque du Freak, those books, vampire books. I was really obsessed with those for a while. The first adult-ish series I read was the Robin Hobb series. I think first arc is called Farseer. Those were really intense, but it got me, even though it was a big jump, into reading, being okay with reading intimidating books. Yeah, and also there is a book series I will not mention, but that was like, it's one that everyone probably read at the time. And yeah, so those are the books that I started my reading journey with. My favorite genres. Well, I mostly read horror. I'm obsessed with reading horror. I like thrillers. I like mystery books. I also read sci-fi books and fantasy books, and I try to also read nonfiction because I feel like reading is not just for escapism and transporting yourself into a different world mentally, but also you have to read to get educated, to better yourself. Well, I don't really read self-help books, but I like to read nonfictions about specific topics that I'm interested in. What are some books that I am excited to read this year? I think the first book I think of is Lucky Day by Chuck Tingle. I've read from Chuck Tingle before. Well, not the erotic, smutty stuff, but what is it called? Camp Damascus and Bury Your Gaze. Those two books were amazing. Well written, witty, interesting. And I just didn't expect that going into his books because I've only heard about the absurd books he writes. And I'm just impressed with Chuck Tingle as an author. So I'm really looking forward to A Lucky Day. I think it comes out in August, if I'm correct. So I will try to get my hands on it and read it as soon as possible. What is my favorite book of the year so far? I think I'm now at 70 books, I think. And I'm kind of okay with what I've read so far because I've read a lot of books that I was putting aside or trying to pick up at a moment. I just postponed, though, that I was trying to postpone. And I just thought, let me just make a list of books that I really want to read and that I'm maybe a little bit intimidated by because they have a lot of pages, or because the writing style or the kind of genre is intimidating to tackle. And I was really surprised by, for example, Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriques. That book was not a book I can recommend, but I loved it. It's pushed beyond every boundary. It was like, you have to check the trigger warnings because it's like extreme horror, but it's such a beautiful and well-written story. Also, a nonfiction that I really loved. That was very thoughtful, well-written, well-researched, is Necropolitcs by Achille and Mbembe. I thought that book was really good, and it's very depressing, but it's very, very eye-opening. And he refers in the book a lot to Frantz Fanon, and I was surprised to have found that I've never read from Frantz Fanon, so I tried to fix that, and I read Black Faces, White Masks, I think the book is called, and that was even more depressing. And it's really interesting, and Frantz Fanon is like genius. The way that man thinks is like very complex, and he has like his own way of connecting things that I've never thought that were connected. So 2 books favorite books. The 2 that I've already mentioned are Share of Night and then Necropolitcs, but the 2 other books that were very really loved this year were Parabel of the Talents and The Spear Cuts Through Water. And both books completely different from each other. The Spear Cuts Through Water is a fantasy, and Parabel of the Talents, I think that's more of a sci-fi, I would say, or because it's kind of a dystopian. So those 2 are completely different, but I love both of them because it shows, Parabel of the Talents shows you like how far humanity can go and what we have to try to avoid, and the things that we have to look in ourselves, look within ourselves to try to change. And but the Spear Comes Through Water is more of an ancestral story, and I love the levels, the story within a story within a story within a story. It's like so complex, and I just love those kind of books that are very intricate, because in A Spear Comes Through Water, it's like the writer writes in first person, second person, and third person, and it goes seamlessly from one POV to the other. And I've never seen someone do that in a really amazing way. So I was really impressed. And it was kind of surprising, because I've read from Simon Jimenez before, or I tried to, The Vanishing Birds, and I did not like it. I don't like the whole vignette way of doing things. So that's not really my thing. So I was surprised. So I hope I didn't go on too long about the books. I love books. And also on this channel, I'm not just gonna talk about books. I'm into a lot of things. I'm into movies, TV shows. I love a lot of Korean content, not just K-dramas and movies, but also I watch a lot of K-variety or reality shows. So that's also stuff that I'm really interested in. And let me see, I listen to K-pop, and I hope I find people that are also interested in the things that I'm interested in. And thank you for watching. Bye.